Hello everybody and welcome to Live and Let's Dice live here on a Wednesday afternoon. My name is Jules Gill and you join me here at what will be hopefully a fantastic stream. Now, hopefully means a lot of things when it comes to this game in particular that we're going to be playing today. Citizen Sleeper, point that way, Jules, because it's mirrored. Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. Because hope for humanity is a central theme of this game. And I'll need you guys watching this stream to hope that I roll well. Because it is a dice-driven RPG. Everything that you do all comes down to the roll of a dice and managing your resources in order to succeed or just fail not so bad at certain actions. Now, first things first, I'm back. I know that I took a bit of time off, and I know that we missed the Monday Night War on Monday this week. I was pretty gosh dang ill, to say the very least. I was completely out of it. Thought that my skin was tiny little sheets of plastic, and I needed to pick them off. I was going completely mad. Indeed I was. But I've returned to normal madness right now, which is at least 50 or 60% higher than the recommended daily dosage of madness. But I am back. And I'm very excited because I figured that if I was going to come back, I could do a painting stream. I could carry on doing one of the many other games that I've sort of picked up and abandoned. I could do some Dark Tide. I could do some Blood Bowl. But I figured that I wanted to play this. It's been a game that's been on my radar for a long old while. And I actually got to speak to the creator of the game, Gareth, a couple of months ago, actually, at the Golden Joysticks. They were part of a roundtable discussion that I was doing with other indie developers, talking about the state of the industry, about things that went on with their games, the trials and tribulations of getting projects, passion projects, across the line, and doing it sometimes without the backing of a bigger publisher, so how they navigated that space. And their answers were so refreshing because it gave me such enjoyment to see somebody who would just put their heart and soul into a game franchise, because obviously Citizen Sleeper 2 is a sequel, and to see them do so incredibly well from it as well. Just the amount of emotional reward as well as it being a financial and critical success was just great to see. So go and watch that video. It's over on the FGS YouTube channel if people are interested. It's about, like, I won't lie, it's about a 2-hour long video, but I sat down with Billy Basso from Animal Well, Gareth from Citizen Sleeper, Thierry from what was it called, Farewell Star, I think it was called, and I may have just got that name wrong. Spoke to the developer of Tiny Glade and to one of the developers that was working on the... Come on, Jules, it's on the tip of your tongue. They worked on Myst way in the day and were doing a remake of Riven. So there was a lot of really interesting thoughts at that table. And just speaking about what Citizen Sleeper is as a video game, it is just my type of jam. It is narrative, deeply well written, hugely impactful when it comes to your choices. It's difficult to learn and to master. It focuses on a risk-reward system, and if you're an idiot like me, you can absolutely screw yourself over beyond it just being a hard time. You can basically soft lock yourself out of the goddamn game, and I figured that that could be a good thing for you guys to watch, because it's a beautiful thing as well. It's about humanity. It's about traveling through the space station, about navigating new lives and what you make of it, what humanity is to each individual and how it carries forward. So there's beauty here waiting to be explored, but there's an idiot at the helm who is got terrible dice rolls, who'll probably absolutely sink the ship before it even gets started. Hello to everyone who's joining here as well. Really happy to see some familiar faces in here, like Louis, TJ, Vernon, and also Crom, Count Poro, and Super Armstrong as well, my friend. Oh yeah, I am feeling a bit better, but as you can tell, there's still some residual gunk on the lungs, which is not too much fun. It's Louis' little girl's 4th birthday. Oh, bless. Absolutely bless. Hope that they're having a lovely time, mate. Right, so what we're going to do is I want to dedicate my full 2-hour streaming allocation to this. So let's crack on and have some fun with Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector, my friends. So This is everything that you see here is going to be brand new. I haven't done anything on this. So if I take time to read, if I'm going to do take a pause, I'm going to have a little think about it, you know? Tutorials are definitely on. Difficulty can be changed at any time. Fantastic. Intended difficulty for those happy to be challenged. Broken dice cannot be used. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant. Yep, I'll go for the intended difficulty because that is what I need to focus on. Now, we need to choose a class. So, I have no idea what these bars going down the left here, but I'm sure that I'll figure it out. Reboot configuration, +1 stress, reroll lowest dice. Accrue stress to reroll your action dice. Pretty good. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones and remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators have expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are more physically fragile than other sleepers. Their reboot skill allows them to hack their own systems to re-roll dice. A risky but potentially powerful move. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Doesn't really sum me up very well. Rally. I mean, the fact that they're already carrying a gun means that I'm more inclined to choose them as well. Extractor. Extractor sleepers are built to work at the coalface of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments, have high level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew die. Sleepers assigned to the extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Ooh, well, I mean, I like the sound of that one there. And out of the two, is it two classes that you get to choose from? Oh, there's a third class over on the far left, the machinist or machinist, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Accrue stress to focus and action dice. Built to repair, modify automated systems used in corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skill allows them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel it. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured. Right, well, that ain't how I play. I'm going to go for the extractor class over here. Let's see how this goes. Also, if you can hear it, the soundtrack in this already is just, oh, my cup of tea. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially like the boot process of an old terminal. First your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then its context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Yeah, I'm basically, like, I'm a big extractor fan. I walk around, I'm like that propeller prop enemy from Resident Evil Village. What's his name? Strum. I'm just running around, a giant prop propeller on my head, smashing into things. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles. Fear. Oh, so I've woken up afraid. Oh, that's pretty standard. But the familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, and your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all these things, that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives. The fear. Oh, that's good. So just the anxiety's carried forward. It is scrambled, panicked fear. The drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong. Oh, no, I'm a big extractor fan, plus I am a big extractor fan. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their debt is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper, that is what you are. So basically, you are just like a clone of somebody who is paying off a debt in a body that is like a robotic android one. Very disposable, and no one gives a crap about you. But you escaped, you remember that now. Broke free of your corporate craters, Essen up in search of your future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes. Classic. Your eyes flicker open. That is a wicked design. Pale eyes in a pale face, Laine. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt. A sharp smile, but this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Laine is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away to the corners of your vision to find something you understand. Your body doesn't respond. But I suppose this wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough. The vial glitters, the object you know and have known for a long time. Stabilizer, the drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence, the liquid rolling in the vial fills you with disgust. Laine pockets the vial, but it would be wasted on you now. After what you've done to this body of yours, he looks at you with palpable disgust. Laine's eyes scan your body, as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you, those that were not meant to free you from your dependence. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Laine. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Laine's head. It's a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand why, you only find dizzying darkness. Shut him up, Laine barks the command, and you hear the sound of impact, of pain from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Laine smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you aren't free, you're just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Laine grips your arm hard and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you have ruined all that. Laine speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation? You feel one of his hands reaching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Laine jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Ooh, another cool character design there. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Laine won't be out for long. He unloops a cable from around your waist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink, slowly. Do you know this person? He leans it over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires weaving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on impossibly bright, screen-filled streets beyond. In the corner you see a dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You are wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Well, I think that the best question first is, who are you? You see a concerned frown across his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes and waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me, who am I? You see perhaps something like fear in his eyes. Panic, maybe. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He's speaking quietly to himself. Laine interrupted the process and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you are led through the passages and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Laine, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You were Laine's prisoner, Laine's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens into a wide open bay with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks and you see one of the doors as a couple of figures flanking it, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsobo, Laine's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye and you see he is playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphine, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Laine, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We needed to reboot you to break your dependency on stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Laine interrupted me back there, and the reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead the way. I'll lead them away. You get to the docking bridge. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Well, I'm assuming the rig is going to be the ship that you can see down over here on the left-hand side. So I'm just going to say I got it. I got this. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphine kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads, he bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait a breath, then glide across to the door that they were guarding. You look, already panicked, at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Okay, so during scenes, you may encounter skill checks where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you will encounter later, skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed on the check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide menu, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I have a 50-50 of hacking open the door. 50 being neutral, 50 being negative. Whereas this one, break the seal with the engineer, I have 25% positive, 50% neutral, 25% negative. So the odds are in my favour to go on that of at least succeeding. So we're going to break the seal. Neutral outcome, passed. You shift to the central access panel and wrench it open. You scan over the mechanism, looking for a weakness. Somewhere nearby, you hear more shouting. You reach in and grab the main latch, straining as you bend it outward. The seal releases and you drag the door halfway open. It screeches in its metal frame as you pull. Go, go! Seraphine flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the dock and quickly glide in after Seraphine. Seraphine is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you into a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself, saying, "Come on." The rig's drive rumbles into life and Seraphim slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Let's get out of here then. So already a tight escape over here, and now I have been given a slew of dice at the top of panel. I assume that these are my dice rolls of the day, and I've got some pretty good ones if that is true, because that's a 5, a 6, 3 6s and 3, but I don't know why that one's halved there. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems are nudged there by the port docking protocols. You feel a sense of relief. Seraphim burned hard out of Darkside, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Laine, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphim breaks the silence. "We're good, sleeper." His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realise this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Laine. The problem is that you don't remember any of them. "We made it out," he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. I'm going to be positive. I'll be positive about this. We worked hard to get out. He turns and you see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. Have you said this exact thing to him before, in this same situation? Are you okay? I'll check on him. He looks at you, chewing one side of his lip, searching your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphim reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realise it's just another thing that you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking is complete. Seraphim kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. "We need a plan." He glances around. Laine's not just going to let us slip away quietly. So, what do we want to do? We can talk here, waste some time to try and figure out what's going on, keep on running. But the fact that he's paused here, I'm going to talk to him. Seraphim furrows his brow. "Not now, sleeper. We need to forget." He flinches, the words coming out wrong. "We need to focus on something other than..." He pauses again, unsure. "Us," he sighs. "We need to survive this thing first, then maybe we can talk." "Fine, I will stay silent then." "We've bought ourselves some time." He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. "You may not remember Hexport, but I do, and there are plenty of opportunities here for us, if we can keep our heads down." He turns back to the corridor. "That's what we'll do." He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along hand over hand in 0G. We've already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's inside. "So we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, it's how to work. I'm going to get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connections, people that might throw us an easy contract. You," he glances back over his shoulder, "you keep out of trouble." "Don't worry about it. Low profile, I got it." Seraphim stops the airlock. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket out from a locker and starts pulling it on. "We don't know what that did to you." He jams an arm into the sleeve. "I don't want you passing out in..." and he stops. "Don't baby me." Seraphim shoots you a glare. "Fine." He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. "Just put the damn hood up, will you?" You take it and slip it on. The inner door hisses open and Seraphim glides through. "Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people travelling together." He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. "We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here." He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. "This is a shitty idea." He gives you one last look. "Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognise Seraphine's instinct to look after you, a flash of relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphine throws you a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo chits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies, he grimaces. And that means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphine kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, all right? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. And with that, he's gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. You wait for a moment in silence. I'm going to make a plan. You try to think about what might be coming. You'll need work, that's the first step. But what then? Laine will be coming eventually. The sooner you can put some distance between you and Hexport, the better. So that's the plan. Rest, resupply, and run. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into the port. Ooh, okay, so now I've got... Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. The game runs in cycles, during which you can perform actions with your dice, use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items, progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any times in the guide section of the pause menu. Okay, so you can use the mouse to scroll your view. Right click to leave location. Okay, so I can scroll all the way down at this Hexport place, and the options that I've got are to go to the docks or to the exchange. And the rig is where we are here. So I'm probably going to go to get some food first. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the more likely you will to be successful. But your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right and will reduce or increase the value of the dice assigned to the action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, neutral, negative, and neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous based on the outcome it has. The more dangerous an action is, the more significant both its rewards and the consequences are. For more information. Cool, right, so the exchange buzzes with the conversation of commerce. This is the place where contracts are found. You just need to look. So I can either trade scrap, which is a very dangerous thing here. Trading scrap is all about identifying materials and cleaning up components. It's an engineer's job, right? So I've got to choose which of my dice to put into that. Or I can go over here. See if there's anything that data brokers and heart, they show off their knowledge. Thing is, I'm going to play it as safe as I can. Let's put a 5 dice in. Let's see what that does. Ooh, okay. So that I can take my dice out at any time, so I can actually see. Okay. Well, in this case, then, I've got a 100% chance of success with this. Yeah, 100% chance of success by doing the engineer skill over here. So there's no way I can fail, and I may get a really good one here as well. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, Lawson? I'm feeling a lot better, thank you, mate. I've still got a bit of gunk on the old chest and in my throat, but all in all, pretty good. And I'm just decided to come back and do some streaming. I figured that I wanted to play this game for a while, Citizen Sleeper 2, so I'm figuring that I'll give it a go. Plus, it's all dice-based, so it's quite fun. So I'm going to try and do my action here. Ooh. Rules of the exchange, -6 cryo. You just progressed a clock. Clocks track towards your progress towards both positive and negative events. You feel by performing that. Okay, cool. Right, so I did that. I traded something, and we're done with that one there. So we're going to drop back. Oh, we've got another thing here. Another trading market. But we'll go to the docks over here and see what's what. Hexport connections. The Hexport docks thrum with life. There are contracts to be made here. You are sure of it. Okay, so what have we got here? So there are plenty of crews milling around the docks moving cargo. They should be a good source of info. Hexport docks are a dizzying mess of braided cables and flows. Exploring is both thrilling and intimidating. So I can choose which one of my dice to chuck in to see what happens here. 100% positive outcome for using that one there. And I'm assuming it's going to be far less over here. Still a good chance of success, but it's not the skill that I am specialising in. In fact, is there any way to check to see what my character's abilities are? Aha. Yes, you can do that. Okay, so welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure your sleeper. On the left-hand side, you can upgrade your skills. To improve the skill modifier applied to blah, blah. To the right, you can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade can be active at each level. Right. So I haven't got any points yet, but I can see how I can upgrade this, and I do have the engineer, endure, and engage classes all ready to go. Right, that's fine. That's good to know. So we'll go back. Can I put my worst dice in there? I may fail that, so I'd probably best just to use one of my big sixes. Okay, right, I'm going to do that then. Hexport expert. Okay. Alright, so I've done something there, and that's given me access to a new area, which is a bar. Here you can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy and stops you starving. Different foods give different amounts of energies. Now the question is, how to see how starving I be? But I've only got 3 dice left over here. I've got enough money. Play Star and Stoker. SNS is a cyberspacer gambling game played with custom magnetic dice. Chits are stashed in symbol marked cans, and winning is ruthlessly luck-based. Now I unfortunately lack the skill here, so it's going to bring my 6 roll down to a 4, and means that while I do still have a fairly decent chance of passing this, it's probably not worth it here. So I'm just going to buy a Ben's fry. Ah, the energy is underneath my dice rolls. Interesting. Cool, right. Well, that's all I wanted to do. Pushing my luck is probably not what I want to do right next. Hey, Christmas Thieves! I feel loads better, mate. Thank you very much. So, what we're going to do then is I'm going to go over to the Hexport exchange. So I've only got 3 dice left for the day, effectively. I have the engineer trait, I believe. Just double check this. I do have the engineer trait. So let's just go and take a look at what this other one is, the trade hall as well. Oh my god. Right, okay, so we do want to buy fuel for our... They can fill your fuel capacity in a single or fuel depots like this. So, okay, so I need to find ways of getting money to resupply to get the hell out of here. So what I'll do is I'll buy some fuel, because that is something that I know that we need. And what have we got here? Can quickly visit and leave the rig with right click. The rig is your ship and home in the Starward belt. While the rig is docked at a hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks use dice to reduce stress. Gallery use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is docked at a hub, your crew will also help to gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the ship. You can choose which of the resources they should focus on in the crew tasks menu to the left. There's a lot of mechanics straight out the gate here. Progress to okay. Right. So that we got to make sure that we are all refueled and done before that clock fills up. Okay, so... Right, okay, so basically we can tell our crew what we want them to do. Let's get them staying on getting some cryo for us, which is the cash. I'm not going to bother going into the sleeper bits there. I am, however, going to go back to the Hexport exchange. Looks like we've got 2 more big actions before the day is done. And I'm going to go big. So my interface skill's missing on that side. Engine is so 100% positive rating here for trading scrap. Problem is, pretty sure that we already did that. We already did that one there. So we're actually only left with 2 other options to use our 3 dice. We've got this one here of going in for the gambling, for gamblor. Could lose a lot of money this way, but hey, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Ooh. Hey, neutral outcome. Fine. Happy with that. Couple of lucky rolls give you a payout that raises eyebrows among the spaces, but you quickly lose half of it. Time to stop. Beautiful. Right, in that case then. The problem is that I don't know if I can figure that one out. So let's just go over here. Hey, how's it going, Jenks? Right, we're going to go for a cheeky roll of this dice here, even though it's my lowest one. Rules of the exchange. You have established a presence here, and the brokers seem to be a little more comfortable around you. Probably could use my last good one there, but still, we're done. And that means that that clock has filled up. Where's this new location, eh? Oh, it's here. Eat in the canteen. Most people blah, 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 input 30. I don't have 13 cryo, so that's a pointless thing for me to have there. So I guess the only other dice roll that I can do... Oh, that thing fills up around there for each individual area. Right. So in actuality, the only thing that I can do that moves the game along, as it were, is filling up this wheel in here by doing the thing that I am good at, so 100% positive. So let's chat to the crew some more and see what we get. A crew welcomes you enthusiastically and gives you a quick tour of the docks. You have used all of your dice for this cycle. You need to end the cycle at your ship, the rig, to re-roll them. Gotcha. Fine, so that worked out quite well. We've got a new location, so we're going to go back to the rig, and I assume we're now just going to sleep it off and roll again. End cycle, that's what I need to do. Right, so we're ending our first day there. Whew! Haven't died on here yet, Louis. Haven't failed a roll yet either, but look at them taking a roll. A 5, a 6, a 2, and 2 ones. Oh, great. Fucking great. We're in trouble, Sleeper. Seraphin leans into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes and glide down the length of the rig. The cool air makes you shiver. Seraphin is a silhouette silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphin inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero-G engine room. You know what these are? No, tell me. These are the engine feed lines. He waves one in the air, and before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. Oh, what happened? They must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise, it would have been bad. But he pushes the pipe to one side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps the large lumpen housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. Oh shit, so I guess we've got to fix it. That's the short of it. Seraphin whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. It's just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movement. We need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate, so how about you try to track him down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find shiplifters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this out. It's on the other side of the station. Wait, there's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. What a great name. I've heard word that Laine is on the hunt. He frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. Shit. You said it. Seraphin sighs. which is why we need those feed lines. I'm going to try and work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up. He smiles a weak smile. Get going. You leave the engine room, the clanking of Seraphine's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines. That's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. Okay, you have discovered a drive. Drive helps you track and choose your objectives in Citizen Sleeper 2. The arrow button in the top left opens the drive menu, where you can choose which drive to track. Once a drive is tracked, a yellow marker will be placed above any location that relates to that drive. Drive comes in two types, major and minor. On completion of a major, drive rewards 2 upgrade points, and a minor rewards 1. Keep an eye on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available, and those you wish to pursue. Right, so let's set ourselves a new... So, we need to refuel, repair, and find what we need, and then leave before we can do anything else. So, cool. New location discovered over Schmier and also over Schmier. Now I have some bad rolls, baby. Those dice here are going to really bite me in the big boy bollocks. However, what we can do here is... Do I have that skill? Do I have Endure? I do have Endure, my friends. So... The warehouses at Hexport docks supply the industrial operations of the station, meaning they're in constant loading. Right, let's just see what a 1 dice would actually happen here. Oh, it's boosted to a 2, but it's a 50-50. Does that mean then that a 2 is boosted to a 3? I mean... We've got to fail a roll at some point, right? So we might as well go for the one that at least gives us a bit of a boost. Let's give it a try. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, go, 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 go. Hey, yeah, you settle into the rhythm of the warehouse, put in a solid shift. Cool, so we've got some cash from that, so that's useful. And I guess we need to just move straight over to this one here. Okay, so, trusted supplier. The Hexport factories are picky about who they work with. Trust is a key currency here if you want to find a ship fitter. We do have the Endure one, we don't have the Intuit one, but unfortunately the Endure comes with a danger, so that's going to probably mean that it's going to minus... I boost it to that, but it's a 50 neutral, 50 negative. Whereas that is 100% positive. Thing is that you've got to use your bad dice rolls straight away, right, just to get them out of the way, but problem is I don't know if I can... Ooh, that's cool. There's like a big world map here. Ah, man, I gotta just take a risk on some of these, haven't I, really? It's a 50-50. Alright, let's go for it. Just get the bad dice rolls out of the way. Ooh, that's good, that's good, that's good. You feel like you are the only getting in the way, and after a collision that sends components and inputs spinning through air, you give... Oh, so did I fail that one? I mean, let's go for it again. Come on, mate, go on, mate. Okay, but that's fine. All we need to do is boost that trusted supplier up. And the thing is now... Oh, we got another new one here. Swift Scrap Soul Material Processing. So we can sell some raw scrap. Okay, cool. Data, we need that one there. Let's see if this does anything, shall we? That's a 50% positive, 50% neutral. And that's 100% positive if I go there. So, sorry, someone's at the door. I need to message Kerry just to... Oh, she's coming downstairs. She's doing it. Right, okay, so what can I do here then? I could probably chuck in... Do I want to chuck in a 6 straight away here for 100% positive? Thing is, I don't know what the reward is for this. Let's just go. Let's just try. Let's just try and see what bonuses this gives us. That gave us 12 currency. That ain't bad at all. That means that we can actually go around and start buying stuff, which is fantastic. And just because of the fact that we're going to go here, and I lack that skill, I'm just going to chuck this one in here. 100% positive. Let's haul some minerals with those guys here just because it gets the trusted supplier wheel done. There we go. Okay, so we're out of dice. Factory row howls as you glide through the clamp passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring manufactories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer incessantly at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there is energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector, and even the smallest amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It's familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way, because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it's hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors, 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild, flickering city growing on their back like a tumour. And then you see them, tubes just like those Seraphim had waved in your face. The feed lines! You push over the display window of the unit marked Karsten's Supply in block capitals cut from hull plate. There, amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components, sit the feed lines, like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside, where the sound of factory row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench, hunched over, concentrating. It seems like he doesn't notice you. I'm going to wait patiently. You let him work, watching as, despite his heavy build, he delicately aligns the components, their layers slotting like puzzle pieces. After a few moments of observing the process, he turns his head a little towards you. "Can I help you?" His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. "Those feed lines, how much?" There's a sharp click as Karsten places his tools in the component against the magnetic plate on the wall. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on a cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karsten's thick-set features do not betray the results of his assessment. Custom built those for a client that never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. "You have one of those old Mevs, then?" He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognise as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have actually come along. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Always good to see one of those things running. Look, Karsten drifts over to where you're standing, his imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you, he continues in a distinctive monotone, let's just say a few hundred cryo on clean chits. He shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. 400? 400? 400. Karsten says back, repeating your question without the emphasis. "It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's what they're worth." He screws up his mouth a little, into something that might be a smile. "However, I'm more of the bartering type myself anyway." Bartering sounds good. "There's a little favour I need a crew for, and, well, you look like you might be a good fit." He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hand. "I know of an old Solheim wreck out there. Very old, pre-collapse. It's tucked away in the dead zone, so no one has really cut it." He shrugs. "Not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by unfamiliar ships, so it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you, with an old Solheim rig, well, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you come in. I have a special interest, a need for that old tech." Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very cool. "I need a need for that old tech. All those Solheim ships had a data core, and while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they keep on those damn things, I do care about the hardware. So if I were to find you back here with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well then, I could see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines." Sniffs at the air again. "You just need the coordinates." "Let's do it." "All right then." He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and you automatically reach out. He grabs your forearm instead. He pulls you closer. "Let's just keep this one between us, all right?" He half smiles, his face huge and close. "It's our deal." Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm. "These coordinates." And then he lets go of your arm, and with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air. Karsten has returned to the workbench. You turn and glide out of Karsten's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach and the cacophony of factory row in your ears. A contract. Seraphim might even be impressed. You look at the drive in the palm of your hand and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind in possession of an improved ship as well. Suddenly, a small but firm hand falls on your back, an equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! It's Juni! You turn in the passage to see a young woman, her hair weaving from the rapid glide. She clearly just came out to catch you. She steadies herself using her shoulder. Sorry, she smiles a quick and flat smile. Wanted to catch you. I'm Juni. Her dark eyes flicker around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrapers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. What's up? Karsten, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles that flat smile again. Wants me to come with you on that job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand, and she smiles again. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So, she looks around the passage. Should I meet you on the ship, and you can tell me when you're ready to go? Yeah, sounds good. I'm a very trusting sort in this game, as you can clearly tell. I'm just yeah. Okay, great. Her eyes light up. She notices that she still has her hand on your shoulder and takes it off. Juni pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you, and calls back as an afterthought. Just let it go. Okay, we've got a contract. Juni clearly works with data based on the gear she was lugging around, which might make her useful when it comes to pulling out a data core. But the question is, what does she get out of it, and why didn't Karsten mention her sooner? You consider your options as you head back towards the rig. I don't know about this, sleeper. Seraphim looks nervously out of the rig's window as you finish explaining Karsten's deal, as well as Juni's offer of help. If this job was easy, Karsten would have done it himself already, and that means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars. And there's definitely something going on with this Juni girl. He shakes his head. What choice do we have? She would have been useful though. You know what? I'm a hyper optimist in this game. I think it's a lucky break. No such thing. This is the belt. This means that someone's getting dicked over in all of this. We just have to make sure it isn't us. What if Seraphim narrows his eyes? We could get the crier together to buy the feed lines. Is that even possible? I found a contract aboard the exchange further in station. We take on a job that might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Karsten's job, a bit of money get ourselves prepared wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies. Yeah, it's on Game Pass as well. Day 1 Game Pass. Okay, so I'll take a look. Good. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew as well. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we just stop messing around, we take Karsten's job right now and get it done before he can think twice. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, I've still got work to do on the drive. Let me know when you decide. Oh, that sucks. For a moment you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle in your mind. Suddenly you curl up, pain shooting in your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight. Your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift, as if some connection is broken. It's almost impossible to describe, like you're floating away from your body, disappearing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in that pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. And then another shift comes, and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. Pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb, and then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain, a disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. Hey Callum, how's it going? You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this new sensation that you'll just have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might preserve for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now, it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. Okay, so let's open up the map and we can go over here. Contracts are high-risk, high-reward jobs that you and your crew can take on. Contracts require preparation and care to succeed. You'll need to gather enough fuel to travel to the contract, gather as much supplies as you can afford to keep you and your crew going, look for opportunities to recruit true crew, temporary or permanently, to help you on that contract. Consider which crew to take carefully. They have different skills and stress resistances, and who you choose can affect the story. Hey, Beady Boy! Once you're ready, you can select the contract from the map and then your crew to proceed. Okay, so this is where we've got to head to Solheim, the rusting hulk of a pre-collapsed ship. And we have a few other mini contracts as well. Excuse me. So let's actually go and find some local crew first to help us out with that mission. And if we look along here, anything that's marked with the yellow on the top should allow us to go to proceed with that sub-objective. So let's go to the docks and see if we can find some temporary crew. Ah, no, we need to leave first because we have no dice whatsoever on the top because we've run out of all of our daily actions, so let us end that cycle. Yeah, it couldn't kill me this time, man. Hanging on by the skin of my teeth. Okay. It's not a great set of dice rolls. And I need to get some food in me because my energy is low as well. So, first things first, we're going to go to the canteen. And we're going to eat at the canteen so that we can get all of our energy back up. Now, it's not a great set of dice. That one there is going to be annoying to get rid of. But we need to figure out the best places to use them. Now, I lack the Intuit skill over here, so that's not a good one for me. But I do have the Engage skill, so if I put my one in there, it's a 50-50 chance of getting it. And hopefully, if we can get a good success, we can fill up that wheel and then move things forward. However, what do my other dice give me? Okay, so these are, that is probably the best I can do out of that. And that's just a 50-50 flat. But I get no bonuses to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck in the 3 and just see what happens here. Neutral outcome, fine. So we filled up the wheel by one of them as well here. Do I go for a risky one here? I'm just going to go for a 50-50. If I fail, I fail. See what happens. Oof. Okay, but I did manage. I lost an energy, which is basically like a negative outcome. But we have managed to get this area filled up. So that means now that there should be an outcome to it. As you glide across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation, drifting out of the dockside shops. Glancing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab bags slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks, but then again, Seraphim told you to keep your head down. Now, the Intuit skill I don't do well at, so I've got a 50% chance of just passing it, but with a 50% negative outcome. Whereas this, I will pass it. It's just a case of whether or not it's a bad decision. So, I'm going to try and rush in. Neutral outcome, fine. Without thinking, you kick off and glide down the alley, nudging the parabola of your drift, to aim directly into the back of the most aggressive assailant. You barrel down the alleyway, raising your arms for the impact. As you do, your target turns back to face you. You see the flash of an implant across their eyes before you slam into them. Oof, ouch. The assailant grabs onto you as you hit them, and the two of you spin together in 0G, kicking and pulling at each other. You manage to get both legs up between the two of you and kick him off into the metal pipes opposite. Then something hits you from behind, and the whole alley blurs as you spin forward. Through the ringing sound of the impact, you hear curses as shouted in retreat. You steady yourself, and a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. I guess this is Femi. Don't do that again. The man gives you a severe look, shaking his head at you. One of those scumbags knife you? I don't want that on me. He pushes you aside in the corridor and then throws the large bags over his shoulder. I'll apologize. You ain't seem sorry, just step back, alright? You watch the man go, and then, after a moment, he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What's your deal, anyway? He sighs. Maybe you are new here, but Hexport is no place for do-gooders. I'm just going to say, flat up, I need help. The man raises his eyebrows. So you look for trouble? He shakes his head. You've got it all wrong. Look, let's not hang around, right? The man pats his chest. I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it towards you. Make yourself useful. Let's head. You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past the concourse towards the connecting bridges. No. My throat's at a state where I'm just starting to recover, so I can't do any accent other than try not to cough at the moment. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check you're following. Then he stops at a docking bridge connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out of the viewing window at an odd catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two separate holes welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and assumes that that is the ship's name. Femi, you bringing in strays? A young woman, brightly dressed, stretching as she drifts into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Nia. Femi shakes his head. This one. He squeezes your shoulder. Helped me fend off from some Hexport scum while you were busy sunning yourself. Nia raises an eyebrow. Nia, I guess. I'm sure that you could handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides a flash of concern that passes across her face. You can't tell if Femi noticed. Nia turns to you. Thanks. She smiles sweetly. And I'm sorry for my brother. She shoots him a glance. Just in general. Nia, Femi murmurs. Enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag that you were carrying. Nia rolls her eyes at you but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. I'm just going to load them back up. Maybe we'll find some use for them. He turns his back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. He nods firmly. Not what I expected. He slaps the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the symbol crash. Nia looks at you with raised eyebrows. I hope my brother was joking, or did you really help him? I tried. I got a bit battered, but I tried. Thank you, she looks back. My brother needs more help than he admits. It's okay. I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath, then gives you a direct look. What is she building up to? Are you looking for crew? She looks away. Sorry to be direct, but you seem like, well, you're on Hexport, then maybe you're with a crew. She stops herself. I mean, maybe your crew needs crew. Maybe you're looking? I am. She struggles to hide her smile. Nia looks back at the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest, being on a crew with my brother is nice, but he's suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know, but he still sees me like one. She shrugs. I want to show him that I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? Yeah, think about it. I'm a good salvager, all right? You can use me. She smiles. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in. She folds her arms across her chest. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. She glances back at the ship. Just consider it, all right? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout from the ship, echoing down the passageway. Femi. He makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in his direction. I should go. She pushes off towards the docking bridge. I'll be waiting. Nia gives you one last glance as she departs, then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. Okay, cool. So that is a local crew available, minor drive complete, and that is one upgrade point. So minor drives are basically just objectives here. So if we complete those first, we can upgrade our character, who is this guy here, and we can use the points to upgrade their skills. Now the question is, what do these do here? So I need a full 4, do I, to order to do that? -1 crew stress unless full. +1 to affected crew dice. Oh, so you literally won't let me spend it until I've got the exact amount to put into it. Fair enough, okay. Count, I'm really enjoying it so far. My throat's not enjoying having to read out everything, but that's just what it is, that's what it is, that's what it is, that's what it is. So, right, okay, so we can buy another contract, and And so now if we go back to our... So we've got to find a way of accepting to get fuel and supplies. The question is, how many fuel and supplies do we need? Because at the moment I've got 2 supplies, 1 fuel, 15 credits. And let's just have a quick look at the map. That's our new one there. That is going to take us 2 fuel to get to, and the supplies are basically just as much as you need. Oof. Right, so I need to get fuel bad. So let's find out a way of buying fuel. And we buy fuel with this. And I need 5 more to fill my entire fuel up. I'm assuming that's what I need to do. But I don't have that amount at the moment. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to buy these here. And... Right. 3 fuel, 2 supply. 3 dice left on the board. I could potentially see if there's another way to earn some extra bits here, because I could basically earn a few more chits by doing this thing of this. Right, let's see if I can just get some extra. So I've got 11 cryo there, and that means that I can go back here and I'll buy 1 more supply, mainly just because I'm just always worried about running out of food entirely. So we'll now go out to our big map, so we can make that there, and we can make it to the big one here. 200 cryo for doing that. But I like the idea of just doing something really risky straight off the bat. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for this one here, and not available. Ooh, why not available? If I go right, okay, fair enough. So basically, it's just saying that you can only take those 2 with you. Right. So we're gonna take Juni, and we've got Seraphim, and we'll go for it. We'll go for it. We're going for it. Hey, driver. The Solheim Derelict fills... Ooh, that's not a bad roll. 3 6s, 1 5, and 1 1. Okay. The Solheim Derelict fills the cockpit windows, all twisted plates and skeletal strutwork. You watched it in horror and fascination as Seraphim completed the approach, both of you silent in the presence of this decaying beast. Now as you settle beside it, Seraphim is the first to break the silence. This thing's already dead. He shakes his head. It's a corpse sleeper. He nudges the ship closer, looking for a place to dock. I touch the thing too hard, it'll crumble to dust. I'm just going to stay silent, man. No advice? Nope. Take us up there. That's the bridge. Juni points towards one end of the ship, and both of you and Seraphim turn around, having forgotten that she was even in the cockpit. She hasn't even said a word since you departed. I know, driver. I'm trying to underplay how decent that is for a game in which dice rolls are everything. She glances at both of your bemused faces. What? She looks away. Sorry, I was just... That's where we need to go. She stops pointing. Seraphim nods towards Juni. She's not wrong, Sleeper. The bridge would be a good place to start. Let's not waste any time. Let's go there. Let's do it. Seraphim takes control of the ship, avoiding the debris field closer to the center of the wreck. He settles in position near a protrusion at the far end. This is as far as I'll go. Seraphim taps at the anchoring controls. We should be able to anchor the ship to those plates. You hear Juni begin to protest from behind you, but it's too late. Seraphim fires 2 piton-tipped anchor lines at the nearest solid hull plates. The pitons slam into the plates, and despite their solid appearance, they instantly shatter. The fragments spin out across the wreck, slicing into other plates and building a spiraling storm of debris. Shit! Seraphim nudges the ship back and steadies it as the debris cascades along the surface of the wreck. The damage seems mostly superficial, but it underlines just how fragile this derelict really is. Let's not do that again. Juni glances between the two of you. The data core will be very fragile. We've got it, Seraphim snaps. He angrily unclips from his seat. Last thing I need is a backseat driver. He kicks off and glides past it into the corridor. Sorry about that, Juni. No problem, she smells a weak smile. We all want the same thing here, right? We'll work it out. You follow Seraphim down a passage with Juni close behind. As you reach the airlock, he's already angrily suiting up, his frustration evident. Keep your cool, man. Yeah. He glances at Juni. No hard feelings, right? He checks the seals on his shoulders, but this is a job, not a social event. The rest of the preparation process takes place in tense silence, each of you considering the delicate job ahead. You suit up too. Though you don't need a helmet to breathe, you slide one on and lock the seals for protection. This wreck isn't going to give up its salvage easily. The core should be near the bridge, maybe even inside it, but there's a lot of wreck here, and there might even be some good salvage tucked away in the cargo hold. Once the suits are on and the seals are checked, you cycle the lock and stare out into the vast expanse of the twisted hulk before you. Time to go to work. Oh, and they come with their own dice rolls too. Welcome to your first contract. While on a contract, you will be able to assign 2 dice for each of the crew members as you would assign your own. Pay attention to the crew's skills to use them effectively. On certain outcomes, crew will take crew stress. When the stress is full, you'll no longer be able to use them and perform actions. While on a contract, your energy bar will automatically be supplied for each cycle that you have available supplies. When your supplies are depleted, both you and your crew will take 1 stress per cycle. Contracts also have their own contract stress. When this bar is filled, the contract will fail. Good luck. Okay, so 6 and a 2 from Juni, and a 5 and a 2 from Seraphim over here. And we can see that they've got skills that complement what I don't. Unfortunately, all of us are lacking this Intuit skill, which is the diamond one. You guys can't see that because I believe that I'm covering it with my image. But there is a little skill thing behind there. Okay. So this is the only place to go, so we might as well head there. Right then, here we go. So, the skills required: clear the cargo doors. There are layers and layers of broken hull plates blocking the cargo doors. This will require some heavy work. I've got the endure skill. Seraphim's got the endure skill. Find an access point into its skill. None of us have got that. Has to be a way in amongst the shattered hull. Searching will be slow, but at least the derelict will remain stable. Getting the cargo hold management and bringing it. Right, okay, so if I drop in his 2, he's got a 50-50 chance of doing it. And I've got I can get rid of my 1 straight away and take the hit on that so that they don't get stressed out. Let's give that a try. Just get the bad roll out of the way. So stress has been put. You just gained some stress, right? Where am I going to see that stress? Oh, it's above here on the top. As your stress increases, you will have a higher chance of... Dang it. 2 secs. We want to find out about stress. Stress attracts both physical and mental stress. Your crew stress and dice actions. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, stress dictates whether they take damage or not. Ah, the high stress means the higher chance. White markers with the stress bar tell you a number will damage your dice rolled. Okay. 3 dice health. Oh shit! So you can break your dice, and that doesn't sound fun. But we did pass the thing there, so we got the worst roll out of the way. Probably best if we now use the second worst roll that we've got for a 50-50, just to get out of there. He took some stress as well down on that bit there, but that is now done. The cargo supplies are cleared. So now we can move further in. Map the bays. Interface. Now Juni's got this skill. I don't have this skill. Countless vast bays extend from here deep into the derelict. Scanning and mapping each one of them will allow you to navigate them safely. Now if I put this in, because she has the skill, it boosts the 2 to a 3. Okay. Oh, that is actually really good, driver. Okay, so let's just go for her lowest roll and work our way up here. Oh, she got a bad result. And nothing popped up on there. Well, that is annoying. Right, in that case, then I'm going to have to use one of my... Oh, my dice roll goes way down. What about yours, Seraphim? Yours goes down too. Oof. Okay, right, so there's no other way around this. We're just going to have to use one of Juni's better actions and just see what this gives us as a positive outcome. Okay, so we've got to do another successful attempt at that. And that's probably going to be... yeah, Louis. Right, so that unfortunately is going to bring me down to a not so good 4. But there's nothing I can do about it, and everyone else is going to be experiencing the same pinch. So hopefully I can just get through this. And it wasn't normal. Ah, dang it, we've got to do it again. Shit. I really don't like burning through these 6s, but at the same time, it's all we've got, so... Perfect, right. So we've passed that one there. And now we've discovered another new location. Right, so this is where I come into play because we both have the Endure skill. And we need to... This will boost this up to a 6, 100% positive. And I'm assuming it'll do the same for Seraphim as well. 50-50 now. Right, so I'll use my own good dice roll here. I'll keep hold of Seraphim's ones because he's got another skill there, that sort of fast forward icon. And I don't know what that is yet, so we'll just let him have that. So we'll pass this 100% positive. Ooh, we put some stress on the Derelict. The contract stress has triggered a crisis. A crisis will add 1 contract stress per cycle until it's resolved. Okay. So it's just splintering apart. Have we done that one then? Oh, so we go back out and there's an actual thing. Okay. Emergency seal. Oh shit, that's going to be bad. So we're probably going to have to drop out of doing our action of the day here with the deep bays and instead go back and focus on the crisis that is going and just rest and come back another day. Right, so we'll use Seraphim's roll. Ooh, God, you've got to do a lot of them to fill up that wheel. And we'll do mine as well. During a contract, you can use your push ability once per cycle to give you an edge in a tricky situation. Pushing accrues 1 stress, but will give you a key advantage based on your class. You can see your current push configuration. If you hold your mouse over the button and on the character screen, your push cannot be used as a hub. Okay. That's pretty cool. +1 stress and +2 to the lowest crew dice. Yes, that would have been useful to know before. But unfortunately, we're out of dice. We're out of the cycle. So I assume now we need to end the cycle here. Right, yeah. Going to end the cycle, so we're going to sleep on there and then come back the next day. Right, give us some good... Oh, that's no good. That is not as good. Not as good, that one. And the problem is here is that we've got this crisis. 3 dice needed in order to get through this one here. So 50-50. Right. Okay. I'm just going to start plugging the holes over here. Because at the end of the day, if we can get rid of the crisis, then that surely should mean that we end things in a better stead. Let's put 1 on there. And we can put Seraphine's action here and extract that raw scrap. Perfect. How many times have we got to do that, though, is the question. Thing is, I don't know. Right, so let us use our push, shall we? Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. The push thing doesn't apply to me. I thought it was for all of the crew dice, but now it means that Juni's hitting us with 2 6s, baby. She's not that useful there, though, is she? Ooh. So, unfortunately means that we're going to have to use our better dice here. It's fine. We'll just get this thing sealed. Okay, so it is just... Oh, the breach is now fully sealed. Perfect. That's good, because we did that before the end there, and that means that we can just focus on extracting as much from this as possible. New crisis location active. Ah, Billy bollocks, mate. The Derelict security system has been jolted back to life and needs to be shut down quickly. Right, well, I am not going to be messing around with this one. Juni is going to go straight into this and give us 2 6s to kick us off. And unfortunately, we ain't got much in the way of other things there, so I'm going to let her rest up, and we're just going to put all of our stuff into the extracting scrap. I wonder if I can go back to the ship and see if I can get that. Okay, if I do one more thing, then that that crisis is going to get a lot worse. Can I improve? There's something. Didn't somebody say that I could improve my skills? Okay, so you could recover if there wasn't a ticking clock situation. Now, this is going to suck. I've got 1 dice left. It is a 1. And it can only be that or negative, so I may as well just use my gosh dang thing. Hold on, let's... I'm just going to use my last dice for this. It could be bad. It could be a bad idea. No way. I did it, and I didn't get hit. Okay, so we only need to do 1 more for that crisis, but the problem is that there is a lot of other crises over here that we need to deal with. So let's jump back in, end the cycle. We got 1 more day after this. Oh, that's a bad roll. You've taken damage to a dice because of stress. Ah, those 2 1s over there looking pretty bad. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, your stress dictates if you take damage or not. The higher the stress means the higher the chance of damage. White bar above the stress bar tell you which numbers will damage your dice when rolled. Each dice has a total of 3 health. When they break, they must be repaired to B. When at a hub, you can reduce stress. Okay. That is a shocking roll for Juni as well. And that is really annoying because I'm going to have to... I'm going to push it, baby. Now, there is another crisis. Fuel cleanup, engineer. Oh my god. I feel like this is going to go badly. But we can do 1 more hack here. Juni, right, I need you to do well and not take any damage on this, so I am actually going to use a better dice roll on you if possible, and then you can plug up this problem here. Oh, you didn't do it! Juni, what are you doing to me? I just need you to do 1 That's all you need to do. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You were meant to be my goddamn hacker. I don't have the abilities to do this with this one. We're going down to from taking a 6 to a 4. Shit. Come on, Seraphim. Come on, man. Right, okay, fine. So that crisis has at least been done. Oy, 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 oy. Well, unfortunately, we've got one crisis active, and if we don't... Shit. We need to put everything we can into stopping these crises, because otherwise, if it fills up that bar there, then we will die and lose and lose and die. But I only have one supply thing left, so, well, I guess we're just gonna say fuck it. Yeah, we gonna take stress, baby. Yeah, we gonna take a lot of stress, apparently. That is worrying. In fact, I don't want to take that amount of stress, so I'm just gonna do a thing there, because otherwise that's gonna affect my good dice rolls. Right, okay. So we've now cleared all of the crises that are there, so now we can move back and just start slamming through these gosh dang locks, because we need to get through quickly, mon ami. Come on, come on, give us a good one. Give us a good one. That's fine. Ooh! Not good, not good, not good. That's the stress that I was not looking for either. Right, okay. We're out of dice for the day, but we're not going to get another crisis event. But that is worrying, because we've only got 1 day left. Okay, the stress is starting to build quite considerably here. You've used all of your energy and are now starving. Sick. While starving, you gain 1 stress per cycle, and any energy loses stress. Eat to regain energy. Oh, Christ. Okay, fair. I'd love to eat, but unfortunately, I don't even think that I've got... Yeah, we have no supplies. Thankfully, though, we're at what I believe is the final bit, question mark. I'm not going to push it, because the stress I'm already under is bad. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Ooh. I do not like that. That derelict stressed. I'm 1 away from losing and getting shut out forever. Absolute shitbox, man. Yeah, things are starting to look pretty dire over here. Okay, so there is no way that I'm going to get a good one out of Juni here. You're going to go up to a 50-50, 50 negative. The problem is if I have a negative one again, I really don't want to use the 6 here, but... You know what? Believe in the heart of cards, Yugi, my boy. Just believe. 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 Oh, no. Okay. I think that I did it just as the derelict. Derelict was, yeah. Juni glides past you, disturbing the dust and taking you by surprise. As she does, she has been a stoic presence so far, but in this moment, she seems drawn forward by some force of curiosity. You watch. She'll let her work. Prying an access panel for one of the more intact-looking terminals. As she does, a puff of rust colour the vacuum around her. She turns her back to the terminal and finishes prying off the plate. Then quickly, she reaches inside, fishing around for something. Her hand comes out with what appears to be a waving cable topped with a thick connector. As soon as she sees it, she slips a keyboard-sized deck out from somewhere on her person. She runs her hand across the back until she finds the right port and slots in the connector. All of this happens in a few seconds, the routine practiced and precise. It's hard not to be impressed. Nicely done. We'll see, she says, so quietly it seems mostly to herself. Juni's fingers dance along the deck. The sudden burst of light and colour takes you by surprise. Juni's fingers tap away, the terminal screen flashing with blocks of colour and lines of code. It buzzes and vibrates as long-dead systems forced back into chaotic life. Then, all at once, it goes dark. The terminal is dead. Shit. Juni hisses beneath her breath. Useless. You cannot tell if the insult is directed at the terminal or herself. She looks up at you, confused expression on her face, then scans around the bridge. I suppose, she pauses, but even from here I can see most of them are more or less scrap. The cradle with the data core can't be far. She pushes off from the terminal, gliding away from you. I'll start looking. She calls back and heads to the other side of the bridge. Everything all right? All good. Good. Claps you on the shoulder. Seraphim stretches in his suit. I have to admit, it's nice to be back working, especially now that we're the ones who reap the benefits. He claps you on the shoulder. Feels good to be taking fate into our own hands. I know it's pretty rough there, back on Hexport, and out here we're just as likely to get shredded by debris as finding the damn data core, but aren't you glad we made a break for it? He pauses and looks down, having asked the question almost by accident. I mean, I am. I just didn't want to speak for you. I'm glad as well. Seraphim smiles. You better be. I didn't give up that little dark side cupboard I was living in for nothing. He laughs at his own joke. Look, Seraphim checks his suit wrist seals. Once we've got a bit of space behind us, once we've got the distance, if we even manage to get that far, don't feel like you owe me. I'm no charity case here. You want us to go our separate ways? Fine by me. Fine by me. He meets your eyes. Just do me the favour of telling me that to my face. I will. Seraphim nods but doesn't respond. After a moment, he shines his torch out into the dark, checking the rows of terminals all across the bridge. You watch the glittering dust as it eddies. Let's get to it. You watch as he crosses the bridge, his torch probing the dark corners. You feel a chill run through your body as you imagine the people that once ran this ship. The Solheim crew, surely long dead. What was it like here before the collapse, when the system was the jewel in Solheim's crown? It's impossible to know. That history is lost to you now. Oh, yeah, there was no Choose an Adventure because obviously they're filmed a week in advance, and last week I was very ill. So it's kind of weird because, like, seeing the post go out being like, Jules is ill, and I'm like, yeah, technically true, but also I'm not ill right now. Well, not as ill. It's impossible to know. The history is lost to you now. All you can do is pick what you can from the ruins. Oh. Oh. We have to go. This place is done. Charging a path through once of passengers with twisted tubes, turn of dead creature. Eventually you make it up to the surface, found the rig still tethered, but gashed with debris. No! Let's hope she still flies. You tether together, push off from the hull, Seraphim guiding you through the debris. Below you, the derelict is exploding in slow motion, tearing apart. Now the rig's torn up too. Oh, and we didn't even get the core! Oh, the job was a disaster. You just hope it isn't terminal. It's gone. The whole ship's falling apart. No shit, contracts are bust. What a waste. And then the channel clicks off. You arrive at the rig's airlock and bundle yourself inside, noticing the exterior damage. It mostly looks superficial, but no doubt take its toll on the ship. Once you're back into the cockpit, you look out into the derelict's shattered form. It seems you will be its last visitors. Well, fuck. Shit. Well, that's annoying. So we just didn't. We were so close to breaking in and then didn't get it. I don't know actually. On the last one, I can't remember. In this one here, I think that you can fail forward through everything. Notice a change. Harding seems very different from the nervous hacker. I know we failed to extract the core, but to be honest, I just wanted... Okay, I don't work for Casting. Perhaps that was obvious. And I didn't want to bring him in the core. You lied? Yes, I know I shouldn't have done that, but if I explained on Hexport, would you have taken me? I wanted a chance to show my worth before I came to you. Do you know how many of those cores are left intact? Like it or not, we live in Solheim's shadow in their ruins, and yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding what we've got here? Like Senetstat and Conway are descending on the system. This station and most of the other inhabitants of the belt are built on a Solheim foundation, yet we're too busy scavenging them to take the time to look for answers. Men like Karsten want nothing but the raw materials of cores like the one we lost. We can do better. We should learn our history and how the system was settled. We can better learn the technology we build our lives on. We can uncover Solheim's crimes and seek to make amends. She meets your eye. We could see beyond survival towards something else. Oh yeah, I think it was winnable here. I think that it was a case of I got very unlucky with 2 rolls for Juni, which gave Derelict stress, which is like the ticker on the bottom, and no reward, so I had to waste more time. And because I was starving as well, I couldn't have wasted any more time on it. I mean, I think that if I had taken one of my flat 6s and used that for 100% positive outcome, I probably could have brute forced my way through the final bit. But the problem is that doing that, we have no idea then if like getting the core out would have been required a 6. But that's what I like about this game. It's what you don't know. You can only live with what you've done. Not that it matters. It's all lost now. Keep your honesty, Seraphin cuts in. It's worthless to us. He completes the landing. We don't have time for our confessions. Karsten won't come for you if that's what you're worried about. He's ignorant and stubborn, but he isn't vengeful. That's not what we're worried about. About the feed lines that Karsten has about you and Seraphin fleeing something, and then you can't run any further without them. Juni nods, her eyes darting back and forth, trying to calculate something in her mind. If you have any bright ideas on how to get those feed lines, now would be a good time, Sleeper. There's another way. I could help you steal the feed lines. We could do it together. Ooh, Karsten is an idiot. I can hack his security and you can pull them out of there. We can do it. Yeah, let's do it, man. Juni gives you the kind of withering expression you wouldn't have thought her capable of several cycles ago. Seriously. Juni looks between the two of you. Hexport hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me, even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Not to mention that Karsten is probably ripping you off. Even if you'd get enough cryo, what's to say that he won't raise the price? Trust me, he's no good. I was trying to deal with Karsten to get those derelict coordinates from the moment I arrived here, and he ran me in circles. Seraphin is watching her closely. Even if I do take you at your word, which, given everything, seems a little tough, how do we even do this? He raises an eyebrow. You are telling me that we just drift in there and take the feed lines? Look, I get it, you don't trust me. But what if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here, and I don't much feel like hanging around and waiting for Karsten to figure out my involvement in all of this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it. She allows herself a smile. See where I'm going with this? I don't like it, but it makes sense. What do you think, Sleeper? We all get something. Exactly. Let me prepare. I'll head to Factory Row, scope the place out, meet me there, and we can work out a plan. She glances between the two of you. Trust me, we can find a way. We can keep it simple, clean. Simple is good. Agreed. I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Less likely for Karsten to suspect us. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up. Juni unclips from her seat, floating. I want to show you that I can be trusted, that we can do this. She looks between the two of you. Believe that, please. And with that, she slips away down the passage towards the airlock and Hexport beyond. You look at Seraphin. I'm saying nothing, Sleeper. Either this is the kind of mess you have to go through to get out the other side, or it's just the kind you can never escape. Either way, we're in it now. He leaves the cockpit. You stare at the chaotic light of Hexport, and wonder if anything in Starward Belt ever runs smoothly. Yeah, probably. Uh-oh, that bar is also filling up, and that doesn't fill me with great hope and glee. Simple and clean. Simple and clean. Okay, so we need to eat. Because we are broke, but we are so broke that we don't even have the money to do anything, honey. So, what we're going to do is We're just going to get some money, and we're going to eat. Are you kidding me? I got nothing out of that. Oh, God. It's all going to go wrong, isn't it? Come on, man. Come on, man. There we go. Right. Now, please, let me eat. Okay. So many systems. What's the consequence of starving? Well, for everything that you starve by, your stress goes up at the top here, and that damages your dice, and once your dice break, you can't use them, and then it becomes near impossible to win. So, yeah. This is going to be fun, isn't it? Okay, right, let's pour, what have we got here? 50-50. Come on, man. Oh, you are going to go against me today, aren't you? You're just going to go against me. So what we need to do is figure out... Shit. I've got absolutely nothing. No one wants to take my goddamn scrap that I've got here. I'm starving to death. I need somebody going out. Seraphine, go out and get some supplies, man. Because we are dying out here. Right, let's just use our good rolls. Let's start advancing the story. And that's all we can do. Are you kidding me? Are you goddamn kidding me? Okay, right. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna end the cycle here because those rolls were bad. Just call it a bad day. I'm starving to death, my boys. I'm starving to goddamn death. So what we're gonna need to do is we are going to need to spend money to make money, my friends. Just get that money. Get that money, honey. I'm going to eat at the canteen today. We are just going to... So we're on there. We're not going to starve to death today. And then we're just going to pour good rolls into this. Come on, man. Thank you. Come on, give me a good one. Just flip off. Flip off, mate, you flippin' flip. Right. Okay, right, so the plan's all done there. Okay, right, so, got him! She shoots back. Carsten's whole system is mine. You push away from your terminal to glide up to her screen. Running the mapping protocol now. I want to know every bit of dusty corner of his network. Weirdly, there is. It's coming up now. Seems Carsten pretty paranoid. The whole system is iced over with some serious security. What are all these layers of... A red pulse flashes across her face, changing her features as it does. Shit, shit, shit. Something is closing the port. We need... A red flash goes and a screen goes blank. Fuck. We've been kicked out. There's nowhere a salvager's shop should have that kind of countermeasure. That's it, we're locked out. It seems so. I think our friend Carsten has involved some pretty nasty stuff. Wait, her fingers fly across the keyboard, her screen flickering with commands. A complex node graph assembles on the screen, a mess of interlocking connections. The mapping protocol did enough. She points at the screen. All the security systems are there. She indicates a dark section of broken connections. We didn't get what's here, but it seems that we found some kind of archive. Nothing that we want. So what now? Juni pulls a thumbnail out of her many pockets and slots it into a deck. Time to train my cat. I don't want to bother doing that. Katzenjammer. Cat for short. Basically, it takes a network map, finds the weakness, and when you hook it up, blasts the network with so much network noise and raw data that it becomes unusable. Any tech connected gets a killer headache. I built it to take the remnants of Solheim security systems out of commission on old derelict systems. I had one too many close calls. Sounds perfect. I agree. She plucks the thumbnail drive out of her deck and hands it over. The cat head sticker on it catching the light as you turn it in your fingers. We still lost access, of course, but there's an old Solheim port from the original facility just outside Carstens. Slot the cat in there and we should be able to find a back door. What are we waiting for? Nothing. This isn't going to be quiet. His whole system is going to get data blasted. It's not a subtle hack. When you slot the cat, you get in, you grab the feed lines, and you run. Sounds like one hell of a risk. Well, it's our best option. And where will you be while we run the gauntlet of scrambled security to make that grab? I can monitor how that goes down remotely from here, or the ship. It tells you finding it hard to trust Juni. I mean, I doubt that she's just going to take the entire ship of the... because the game probably wouldn't be able to continue, but so I'm going to trust. Thanks, but I'll find somewhere else to work. Close this ship. Close to the ship, but Andy away. Juni shoulders her bag and glides to the door. When you're ready, slot the cat and go. By the time that you're back at the ship, I'll be there. Don't leave without me. Right. Now the thing is... It's all well and good to just advance the story there, but we have no supplies, no fuel. So I'm imagining the game's going to bite me in the ass the moment that I try and do something to do with that, right? Like, I feel like it's just going to be like, cool, right, you got the feed lines and all, but you're flying out in the middle of space with absolutely nothing, and there ain't much around us here. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to build up and try and take out that Conway signal there. And to do that, I'm going to try and earn some more... earn some more chits. Perfect, right. Not a terrible one there. And we'll end the cycle. Right, so we are starving. Not good, but we are going to regenerate, and we're going to have a quick look at our ship and see what that can do for us in terms of the... Sometimes it's necessary to rest, or at least try to, in the compact bunks of the rig. Right, so let's try and fix this dice here. Oh, cool. Right, okay. Well, let's try and recover that dice then. Good. Right, so we paid 2 to recover some stress. Fine. What we really need to do, though, is find a way to get those bits up there sorted. We could try and gamble, but it's not going to work. We could just work our bloody butts off. Ah, I've got some raw scrap here. Is it? Right, okay, so what does... Ah, 16 cryo for that. Interesting. And... I reckon that I'm going to go in for a 6 on here. 100% positive. I'm just going to try and just get some resources going. 12 cryo. It's fine. And we're just going to sell as much raw scrap as we can. Because now we should have enough to buy fuel and supplies. To get to that other contract. So go to the trade hall. We will fill up our fuel. And then we're going to fill up our supplies. Perfect. Right. Now the thing is there anything else I want to do on this with this day? I've got 2 dice now. And let's just go for let's get some more cash. I may get a negative outcome for this one. Oh, no, that's fine. Right, okay, so we're going to end this cycle, and then we're going to go into the next day, just gun it. That's the plan. It's an average roll day, my friends, but we got to do it. So let's input 1, Cats and Jammer. I'm going for it, going for it, going for it. Carston's place is locked out for the cycle, shutter down, alarms on, the denizens of Factory Row snaking past with deliveries and work orders. Hold your position opposite the shop, take a deep breath, waiting for the sign that this is going to work. You look at the thumbnail drive with a shimmering cat sticker sticking out of the old Solheim access port. You imagine the flow of data as the Cats and Jammer seeks for an entry point into the Carston system. You think of Juni tucked away near the ship, watching you through the public networks. You think of Seraphine deep in the engine room of the rig. Hurry the hell up, you think. Enough waiting. Then you hear it, a pulsing white noise, spluttering, and then the screaming out of Carston's shop. The shutter scissors up and down. The lights pulse. The alarm gurgles in confusion. For a moment, you're stunned into stillness. People stop in the street, then turn to look as the shutter motors burn out in a cascade of sparks and acrid smoke. It's now or never. Right, gotta rush inside, let's do it. That's fine, neutral's fine. Without waiting a moment longer, you kick off from the wall and glide towards the entryway, slipping between the gathering observers. You glance off one of the crowd, knocking them spinning, but you don't stop. You're through the entryway before the shouts reach your ears. There's no going back. It takes you a moment to gather yourself in the chaos of the shop. The wall-mounted screens scream out in white noise, and the flickering lights make it hard to concentrate, but you keep your focus. You scramble over the feed lines in the window, grabbing the bundle with both arms. They wave wildly in your grasp as you wrench them away and kick off from the counter, gliding back out into the passage. Your arcing glide takes you into the crowd. You steer yourself through a gap in the gathering bodies and kick off hard towards the port. The feed lines wave wildly, but you grip them hard to your chest and don't look back. Seraphine better be ready. Your arms ache from clutching the feed lines, but you don't loosen your grip until you see the entrance to the docking bridge. Sleeper, you almost ignore the call until you realise the voice. Juni glides out to meet you, her hand on your shoulder, guiding you towards the bridge. I'm with you now. She shoots you a glance. What a show, huh? She laughs nervously. It was certainly loud. Wish I could have seen the cat in action. You both glide down the docking bridge, Juni helping you with the trailing feed lines. From what you can tell, news of the chaos in the Factory Row has not reached the port yet. You feel a flush of excitement as you enter the ship's airlock. This is it, you did it. You try to keep focused, but the elation makes your hands tremble. You take a sharp turn in the central passage of the ship and make your way to the engine room, the feed lines now unwieldy in the cramped space. Seraphine is waiting for you, shaking his head. Looks like we're in business. He lets out a sigh. And on the run from 2 different people now. He grabs the feed lines. I'll take it from here. He quickly begins the process of connecting the engines to the subsidiary fuel tank. You watch, catching your breath as he works. How about you make yourself useful rather than just making me nervous, Seraphine says without looking up from his work. Go close the airlock and disconnect the bridge. You and Juni glance at one another, both of you, now. The 2 of you turn and make your way up the passage, your nerves settling now. You arrive at the airlock and reach for the control panel. Then you see him. Carston coming up the dock fast. Oh crap. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. I'm not even going to take the risk on getting a 50-50 on that one there. I'm just going to say stop to him, see if that works. Not a chance. He slams into you with some force, sending you spinning into the metal wall behind. You jerk in pain as you hit it and lose your sense of direction. Carston's heavy hands grab your neck and wrench you towards his face. Sneaky little shit. You think I didn't know who it was when I saw what was taken? His breath is hot on your face. I thought you sleepers were supposed to be smart. Before you can respond, he jerks back in pain, a thread of blood spiraling from his forehead. Juni swings again, the pipe catching him on the chest and sending him spinning towards the door. You watch stunned as she inputs the closure sequence with trembling hands and the doors hiss closed, obscuring Carston's floating body from view. She's breathing hard and doesn't look up. The pipe drifts from her hands, spinning gently in the air. I ain't saying nothing. Seraphine rushes past, gliding up the things. Come on, get yourself strapped in. You and Juni silently follow him, your head spinning, your thoughts racing. You slip into your seats as Seraphine punches in the departure sequence. The rig begins to pull away from Hexport. Seraphine's hands on the controls. You close your eyes and feel the force of the thrusters firing. Well, that was pretty horrible. We just killed a man and just left him be. Oh god. You completed a drive and earned an upgrade point. You have push upgrades available. Go to the character screen on the right of the UI to see them. Well, wellity. We've managed to escape, but I'm pretty sure we're going to land ourselves in even more hot water. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to pause the action because I've got to go and get ready for a yoga lesson in a bit. But, boy, this is everything that I like in a video game. It is tense, it is horrible, and I've already made so many mistakes, I'm imagining. But I want to say thank you to you guys for watching here. Really appreciate you guys taking a chance on a new game with me, and I hope that you enjoyed it yourselves. I want to come back and play this next week going forward until we have completed Citizen Sleeper 2, so hope that you are ready for a brand new playthrough series of this game. But for now, I've got to go, so treat yourself with love and care. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for stopping in, and also subscribe to the channel, give it a like, share it with your friends, let other people know that we exist. It all helps my friends. But I've got to go, so I will see you in a bit. Bye, everyone. Bye. I mean, bye.